everybody. I'm going to shoot this video in parts, but I want you to see what's going on here. I mean, for overall load, we got quite a bit of stuff on here. Everything we had to measure, I had my ruler out. I was checking width, length, how to get everything, put on the trailer where I had just enough. This one pallet here, it's got some cable pieces. There is banding. Now there's nothing through these machine holes. There's another machine hole up here, you can see. But the thing is I can't put anything through there. So it's machined, tolerances are closed. So I'll make sure when my tarp gun's down that I'll weight it down, and I'll do 2 and or 3 inch straps, depending on what fits, probably 2 inch. Over here, as you can see, there's a gap under here in the pockets for the other pieces. I know you can see it, but I'm not climbed up there yet. So this is a cradle, and then this is also a cradle over here. And we're going to go one by one. So when I come over and I tarp, after I come over, I got to do the back tarp first, and come over and do this one. I'm going to strap here and here, there and there, and I've got to get everything dished in with my tarp. I'm going to Utah, Salt Lake City area north, but I have to make sure that I can stand the high winds out there. It's wintertime. So now on this one, I specifically wanted to show you some of these. Okay, these have crank up legs with these guys right here. What I wanted to make sure you saw was that this little piece right here, see, this turns. Now they were sitting on wheels to be moved around, so you have to make sure you pull this pin, turn it, and it locks that. It can't be on wheels, it's going to give too much opportunity to move. So cranking these guys down, I got on 2 sets of them, and make sure that the platform is down and it's nice and flat. It's not going to damage the trailer. That's going to keep the load stable. Now these are used, but we still want to take good care of everything because they're still in pretty good condition. This is just equipment that, for whatever status, is being shipped out to another place to be used elsewhere. So we want to make sure that when we're loading these guys, you come in, you watch these handles. Make sure stuff like this, any protrusion, it could be an electrical box, could be a handle, could be a something. You want to make sure nothing gets touched. Leave yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of room if you can. Now I got some similar deals, but everything is, there's no problem. I made sure all the wheels were squared away, all the handles were up and out of the way when he brought each piece in. On this one, it's kind of, as you can see, that's just black rubber there for cushioning, it's part of a cradle system. I just wanted to make sure I did a wrap and trap type chain on this one, front and rear, and that's good to go. I don't have to worry about anything else. I've got a tarp that I've got to pitch over, but the thing is that I had all these other pieces. These were all added after the fact, and that was put on afterwards, and then they banded it afterwards. So let's just put it up in there. Let's get it pushed up against as close as you can over there. I can move this pallet by hand. Those are just aluminum ladders. It doesn't weigh, the pallet weighs more than the other stuff. So looking at it from this angle, everything is cool. This one had some cables and some pieces parts, and all I did was ask them if you're going to have heavy cable and stuff, just put a band over the top. And they did a great job of shrink wrapping, but I just asked them to have some kind of banding to trap it so that it can't do anything with it. I'm just real careful about getting anywhere near these handles, and again making sure everything was released, because this is just a spring-loaded tensioner for these wheel releases. And everything's close there, but what I'll do is I'll make sure that the handle goes back up again, but it probably will fall in vibration. And I was looking for like a stop on it, and I didn't see any, but that's okay. you know, because they'll move a little bit, and the extra weight will bring it down. This is a cool load. I think it's nice. It pays well for a holiday, because I'm going to be under it over Christmas. I couldn't get back home. I couldn't find a thing that would get me where I wanted to go that wasn't something, either a trailer type I didn't have like Conestoga, or over with, and going through the regions that I'm going to go through, it just didn't make a lot of sense, because those guys and gals that are doing that stuff, it's just you got restrictions. You got you can't move it, inclement weather, if you're using your wipers, or this or that, or if the winds are over 25 or 30, whatever. There's so many different rules. You got to read your permits. So I didn't really care to do any of that stuff. During the summer, that's different, but during the winter time, I don't think so. So, little things like that, it just had to be sitting there. Just pick up on it, check it out. It's light rubber, but I can use it for padding if needed, if there's something that needs to be padded. So most of the stuff, they got places to chain, but it's really not needed. When I come over here, I'll just drop a strap through there, because it'll catch it right in this notch. I'm up against the bulkhead here. Now, if I didn't have anything up here, I would have had them back it off so I can slip my tarp pulley down, but I've got to do a wrap and come on down like this. So that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. My truck's just filthy, but we're up in Michigan, so that's the hot ticket. So everything else should be just fine. And I think this is going to be a really nice stable load. It doesn't weigh that much, but most of the weight I've got forward. So it's all good. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done, and it'll be a several part video, at least 2, and we should be squared away. And later on, maybe I'll get some video of going out west, and hopefully I won't have any super bad weather. But maybe I'll get a window and get through. So, and we'll see you in the next part. Hey everybody, I just waited an extra day to shoot this part of the video. Had a problem with my truck, and I had a dead battery, so I got a service work and a battery replaced, and some of that, it just happens. One battery goes bad out of 4. So remember what we showed you inside the bay there with all the wild tarping? It took both pieces of my 53-foot, 8-foot drop, and the other one goes up to about, it was going to go up to there, and I thought, well, I draped it over, and it really wasn't tight, because if anything gets in there, it's going to be a balloon all the way back. So what I thought, okay, just throw another one and be done with it. So what I did was I took the 24 by 26, folded it under a bunch of times to create a air dam, nailed it down with a 2-inch strap across, put my other tarps and stuff over the load, and help hold everything together, because you saw the pallet and how it was all tied down. Draped it over. So that's 70-some feet of tarp. It gets ate up pretty quickly when you're going over peaks and valleys. So that gives you a pretty good idea. Now I did the straps like that valve is being weird. So I did put them in the notch. They're about as good as they're going to get. That thing's loud. I'm going to have to take a look at it down the road. It just does weird stuff. I mean, it holds air and everything, but it's always been a real weird treaded air system. Anyhow, I got all these straps covered over in this long beam piece that's here. There's the buckle. There's the lifting eye right here. I put the 2 straps like I said I was going to, and then everything is covered. Now this strap makes contact with the beam here and over there. So I've got 4 straps actually touching the load there. These are direct over the top. These are applying pressure for keeping it on there even. This strap here was merely because it was a little bit offset for the other pieces of the load, and I wanted to stop flapping. So I put that over there to tighten it in, because it would just bellow and wave. I put a strap over here anyhow, but I positioned it specifically for tarp coverage to keep it tight. It's I'm in Iowa, so I'm getting ready to hit the plains, and we're going to see what happens. There's all my knots. All these guys are doing just fine. Now I did change some things. I had chain started out, but I didn't really like it, so I went ahead and put straps on. And I thought, well, you know, we'll just see, because I couldn't get the grab height-wise for the binder. And I was going to do it from the other side. I thought, no, it'll just end up pulling stuff all over the place. So what I did was I tried to measure it here, and I just didn't have quite the pull I wanted. I could do it only from here to here. So I went ahead and changed the strap, and I did a wrap, just like I've done on other poles and beam pieces, and it's tight as a drum. So that's what I did. All I did was move 1 winch from here to here. Now inside, of course, of those pole pieces that you can see, and underneath is the ladders, and it's doing pretty fair. Got everything kind of tied up here in the back. As many bunches, I mean, we're talking 8 or 10 of them back there to try and keep everything squared away. These guys are nice and tight. I try to keep the flap down. Yeah, it's good and tight there. And I was getting underneath and checking it. So now this one here was the you saw the wooden crate with the pieces that are, you know, tied on it. So what I wanted to do, because I know that's a piece of cable, it's really heavy, I want to make sure that everything gets tightened in, and plus because of the lack of tie downs, that I went from an angle. So I give the box a wrap. It's not going to go anywhere because it's tied in with this 3-inch. And as the load settles, just give everything a little snug here and there. This is over the top, over that rubber pad, same there. And this is the curve of that cradle also. Now I've used just pretty much everything. I mean, my tarp just go way up underneath like I was saying, but I just wanted to have it to where it just is windbreak. I couldn't get everything to stretch out over far enough here and make it back there. It just wouldn't do it. Too much, that valley ate it up, just so you'll know. So those were rated for a 53-foot flatbed, 8-foot drop, and they still got ate up. So, I just didn't have enough. But everything is fine. Truck's going to be filthy. I'm crossing, you know, I-80 all the way out to Salt Lake City area. It's not the prettiest tarp job, but when you have such angles and everything, trying to bring it in and cover and keep it down, I'm doing my best trying to, you know, get as many bungees on there as I can to keep billing, and I don't have any. I mean, when I look at it, there's no airflow through the tarps, getting underneath and billing anything out. That's your biggest danger. But because I strap over the top and I know where I'm going to place everything, tip again, place your winches where you know you're going to throw a strap. So when you've got your tarps up, sometimes you'll still have to peek if you forget, and then you start throwing. But you get that mental game plan and chart in your head of where you're going to throw. What are you going to do? I did have to take and feed these through and then toss the cloth over and put the buckle in, because this was just too much over. It was a little bit wide. No big deal. That's an easy thing to do. And it's got plenty of coverage, those pieces. If the whole pallet weighs 7, 8, 100 pounds, I'd be surprised, you know. So as far as covering the length and all the stuff on board the pallet, they're all tied down. Check each one. It's a pain, you know. You got to check every single piece of banding, the whole works. Anything else I want to tell you guys? I think that's pretty much it. But overall, it's a good payer. It's a good holiday load. I won't be home for Christmas. That's the way it goes. I've missed a lot of them. That's just life. I just couldn't find loads out there in time that paid, or I could do. Either they were way over past my rating on oversize, which I don't do a ton of, but or it was just a round trip or something. Some really good loads on the board. There was a few. But holiday, end of year, they want to get stuff done, so they were willing to pay for it. But this one will pay the bills, and we'll be happy. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. See you on the road.